in 1992, and that Title II prohibits units of local government from discrimination on the basis of disability in the delivery of programs and services. So for us to follow this, we follow enforceable standards that provide guidelines to define accessibility for the built environment. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background. So back in 2010, the Park District hired Recreation Accessibility Consultants, RAC, to complete our audit and transition plan. So they audited all of our Park District parks and our facilities that identified barriers to accessibility at our sites. In 2011, RAC was hired to complete the transition plan. So the first step was to complete the audit, and then the transition plan phased out correction to complete the corrective recommendations to address those barriers. In 2013, the Park District worked with Cordigan, Clark, and Associates. So they provided some additional feedback on how to approach our transition plan, and they provided future planning tools to help evaluate our transition plan. So since all of that work has been done starting in 2010, the Park District has done quite a bit to address the barriers that were identified in our audit and through our transition plan, and we do annual updates reviewing the transition plan, and it informs our capital planning. So I'm here today to just review that plan with you and bring it to your attention. I also want to mention the Park District works with NSSRA, the North Shore Special Recreation. I always forget this. North Shore Special Association. Thank you. I wanted to say district. We work with them on programs, so they offer programs to our residents and our users with disabilities, and we also work with them to provide access for our programs. So that is a good partnership. So our approach, all of our new projects and renovations consider ADA. We update the status within our transition plan, and we assign prioritization so that we can help guide our capital planning and addressing those remaining barriers that are at our parks. And we incorporate standards into existing process for ongoing maintenance and implementation. Our guiding principles, there's the program access tests. So this is looking at the Park District, all of our programs, so that would include, it's not as intuitive, it's not like programs, it's like a playground would be a program. So all of our major elements are accessible or can be found, there's at least one that can be found in the district that's accessible. And then RAC has provided a guideline that we strive to follow, that at a minimum we're achieving accessibility for 1 out of every 3 park elements. So like 1 out of 3 of our playgrounds can be found accessible. So there's a distribution within our district. So now I'm going to dive into how to read the plan, because I think we included in your packet, it's very long. The foundation of the plan is the audit that was completed in 2010. So it includes the park name. Some of them have pictures associated with them. And then it has a description, so it's going to tell you what the corrective action would be to remedy that barrier. And then we have a status. So that's what we're updating as the statuses. And we have a completed or projected year to be addressed. So it's either if it was accomplished, it was addressed, and if it's not accomplished, when will it be addressed? So here is how to define the statuses, and you can see that we have accomplished over 50% of the recommended barriers. So accomplished means that we have addressed it. Leave as is would be no change or not feasible. No longer applicable would be an area or amenity that no longer exists. So like the old golf maintenance building, for example, doesn't exist anymore. So that just doesn't need to be addressed. Ongoing would be recommendations that require ongoing maintenance. So those are items that we've incorporated into our own inspection protocols and standards of how we operate. Planning would be something that is addressed within our project, our 5-year capital plan. It's accounted for on our replacement schedules, or it's planned to be addressed in-house. And then consider with next update would be recommendations that have not yet been addressed, and these projects are assigned a priority. And so I'll talk about what those priorities look like.
Can I ask you a question just about the chart?
Yeah.
Sorry, just can you go back
Yeah.
for just a second? So the leave as is, the no change, not feasible, is that mostly because it'd just be too expensive to change?
It's burdensome, or a lot of them were items that were just due to the construction of the building, like just are not feasible. I'm trying to think of some other examples of leave as is. Leave as is would also, if we accomplished it through another recommendation, like if we by addressing something else, we've addressed that line item, so that would knock that one off.
Okay.
If that makes sense. Okay. So for the statuses that have consider with next update, those have been assigned a priority. I'm going to talk about what the priority, there are 3 priority levels. One, that is the top priority. Those would be community parks, indoor facilities with programs, neighborhood parks with programming. So those would be like our more active, where more of our users are going. 2 would be neighborhood parks with active recreation. And 3, employee-only areas, our passive area parks, or projects that would be disruptive or burdensome. So I'll go back to show you. So like 3, this would be Foley's Pond. Foley's Pond is one of our passive areas. We have accessible fishing piers elsewhere within the district. We're accomplishing following our guiding principles. So this would be priority 3. And then I'm just going to touch on ongoing maintenance standards. So a lot of the audit touched on like accessible waste receptacles, signage, playground surfacing, picnic benches, door weights, obstacles within access routes. These are things that are ongoing, that change. Someone puts a box in a hallway. These are things that our staff have been trained to do. We had a training this past year on ADA. There are resources available for our staff. Like I said, these standards are incorporated into our inspections. So these are things that, while on the audit, are things that are ongoing that we just do within our operations. Are there any questions? And I'll also mention that, like I said, the plan is updated annually. It will be updated again this year as part of our capital planning. So we'll just continue.
Seems like a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, but it's important stuff. We want to make sure that our spaces and our facilities are accessible for our users. It's really a team effort, especially with like facility staff understanding when to identify when something needs to be moved and stuff. So we're doing a lot of work with training and just making it a team effort.
That's great.
So at 190 pages, is it the longest plan that we have?
Yes. That I am aware of,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
I don't know what you want to be on, sorry.
Jeff, you want to come talk to us about Moraine Park?
I'll set you up here, Jeff.
Jeff, would you please come
Yes,
talk
I'd be
to us
happy
about
to.
Moraine Park?
All right, I'm back with more good news. No, I'm here now to give an update. Everyone's aware that we have had some challenges with the path over at Moraine Park, so I want to give a brief update on where we are on this project, and also just kind of really focus on giving a real understanding of what the challenges are at the site. So Moraine Park is the home of our dog beach. This path here that starts in the upper park goes down these stairs, across a bridge, and then it turns into a flagstone path. It's kind of cut into the side of the bluff along the ravine. Down at the end is the Moraine Dog Beach. So this past May, we had, as I think everyone's aware, we had record rains, and that led to failure in a few spots on the path. So here's the start of the flagstone path, and you can see here, it's kind of hard to see in this picture, but to the right is the bluff, it goes down, and then you have the ravine, and the path has kind of shifted a little bit. Here's another, we have a few small areas. You can see the ravine down to the right. It's a small area here that's a small retaining wall, and it's kind of failed there. And then there's a third small area right here where water coming down the bluff has kind of shifted some of the flagstone and also the retaining wall. But the real issue and the reason this path is currently closed is because of this failure here. And I'm going to show some more pictures to get a little more into it.
Is this any of this original from the Moraine Hotel, or was this subsequently put in?
I'm not sure. My understanding is it's most likely not original, but it was put in at some point. I believe when the hotel was there.
When the hotel was there?
I'm making the assumption, but we're not sure. I mean, the Park District acquired the property in '98, and it was there when we acquired the property. But there are remnants of an old bridge, which I think is more original, much older, not in the same condition as this.
So that's probably from the original hotel.
That would have
It
been
is,
from the
yeah.
original, but this would have occurred to some point. I don't know the timeline.
Okay.
So, as I mentioned, the path is currently closed, which means dog pass holders, unfortunately, do not have access to Moraine Dog Beach at this time. However, they do have access to the year-round site at Fink Park. And I just want to point out that Moraine is a seasonal facility, typically between May and November it's open. Right, so you can see right here is where we have the failure, and here's kind of a close-up. This is the path, and then this is the bluff going down. And so the bluff is kind of given way. There was a retaining wall here, and it's all given way. That's actually a portion of the retaining wall sitting way down there.
The timbers?
No, it's stone.
Stone?
And then here's another angle of it. And you can see this is this path. The level of the path would actually be up here, but it's all come down here, as is the retaining wall down here, and wrong way. And there's standing down the bluff looking up. You can see another.
Is that the retaining wall that what used to be?
Yeah,
the
right
retaining
here,
wall?
right there. Yes. And then if you look at the upper retaining wall right here, also have a challenge with it. It's actually separating away from the bluff.
Nice.
So the whole thing is shifting. Now, this is standing in the path looking down. There's the ravine. A good portion along here has a sheet pile in here. So as far as looking at repairs, staff have spoken to and met with several contractors. There's also an engineering firm we've worked with this path. We've met with the city engineers, and we've also spoken to the Army Corps of Engineers. And the short version is there is really no quick fix for this. One thing to keep in mind is access here is very limited. You've got to go down those stairs. It's the only way to get in and out. So every stone you bring in, you got to carry up or down. And I show this picture because I want to point out, as you'll recall, the Army Corps of Engineers is currently working with the city and the Park District on doing a feasibility study for a possible glypher project here, which would be restoration, including this ravine right here, and most likely would involve stabilization of the toe, the base of the bluff. And what we understand at this time is that's really what needs to be done, is the bluff needs to be stabilized. Any work we did just to try to repair that path right there could potentially be undone again. It's a larger issue. And so as it stands right now, we don't have a solution that we're moving in direction of. However, we do have a site meeting with the Army Corps of Engineers this week on Thursday, and we're going to be talking more. What we're trying to do is work with them on this potential project. We don't want to come in and do any stabilization that could likely get undone in the larger project that they may do. So as I said, they're doing a feasibility study right now, and that will determine whether or not we'll move forward with this restoration project in the ravine. And if that work moved forward, it would likely happen within 1.5 to 2 years from now. So we want to see what we can do in the meantime to get this back open, but we don't want to do work that would get undone potentially. Part of the Army Corps' work may include removal of the sheet pile wall, for example. So we're meeting with them to talk more about this. And as I said, unfortunately at this time the Dog Beach is closed.
Can you go back a slide?
Of course.
One more. One more. Right there. So it's not very wide there, I guess you couldn't put up a temporary railing or anything to allow access, to keep people off the area that's failing?
I'll be totally honest, it's actually not something we had looked into. We potentially could. We did look into a number of things, including maybe building some sort of a temporary kind of boardwalk over that whole area. But the more we looked into it, and like I said, we've met with the city and talked to their engineers and looked into permitting. Anything we do, it's a steep slope, anything we do to touch any of that,
Yeah.
it's going to involve a lot of geotechnical analysis that we'd have to do.
Yeah.
But you're right, that could be something we could potentially explore.
Because in order to stabilize the bluff, I mean, I know a little bit about this stuff, you have to put in probably pylons in there to shore up the bluff, and then it would curtail the erosion. But on a temporary basis, while that's all, that could take 2 years to analyze that. But in the meantime, if somehow we could keep people away from the area that's failing, if it's wide enough, and that area is stable enough to keep people away from there, that's something you could talk to the city about and see if they'd be willing to. I'm just trying to create access for that. And once people have a dog beach, it's hard to take it away from them, and it's hard for us to tell them that it's 2 years before we'll have any idea what an answer would be. And I'm guessing this answer is going to be well into the six figures. And so then it's a question, how do we pay for it? So before we even get to that point, if there's any way we can do like a temporary fix without actually doing anything that impacts the stability of the bluff, but somehow be able to corner off the area that is unsafe, and if there's still wide enough path there, then that's something we can look at. I don't know if there is. There may not be wide enough there, but I think maybe we can look at that.
Absolutely.
So I'm a frequent user of this. I don't think it's wide enough, just in my unprofessional. Not only that, but if there's any precipitation at all,
Yes,
these
yeah.
flagstones get very slippery.
Yeah.
And so even under the best of circumstances, I've seen people slip and slide and fall. I really don't think that there's room at that particular spot. Now, I am aware, everybody that goes down there can see the old stairs and the old bridge. So you're talking about like slightly north, right? I guess that would be north. There are still an existing set of stairs. I don't know if you took pictures of them or not.
I didn't include it.
So, and that takes you down more directly to the ravine.
All the way down to the ravine.
Yeah.
But the stairs are not in any order that we'd want people to be using them. But secondly, it doesn't bring you back up. It just takes you
It
down.
just takes you to the ravine.
Yeah, and
then
you can't safely get
there's
to
no
the
way
dog
to-
beach from, unfortunately.
Okay, and then there is a gate at the south end of the dog beach itself. You know what I'm talking about? And who owns the property directly south? Is it? Okay, so it's private property.
Yes.
There, I know that there's a path there.
I'm not
It's-
aware of any easy way to get from the park down to that, though.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just like spitballing here.
And I do want to stress that just kind of reporting where we are right now, because obviously it's been closed and there's been a lot of questions. We're still working on some type of solution that wouldn't necessarily rely on that longer-term project. I can't say right now what that's going to be, but we just feel it's very important that we coordinate with the Army Corps because they most likely will be doing work later. So.
Until you do the engineering, you can't do a fix to the bluff.
Correct. And that's what we were hoping. We come in and we do a fix. It could just be completely undone. And after meeting with the city, it makes sense. It's very clear that we need to do more analysis of the bluff before we touch that.
How is the beach itself?
I'm glad you asked.
Not good.
Is there a beach? Oh, there
There
is.
you go. So it certainly has reduced in size over time. And there it is right there.
And that's low tide. It looks pretty low there. That's nuts. God.
Can you give us an update Thursday or Friday by email after your
Absolutely.
meeting? Just a couple sentences, just
Yeah,
so we know.
just an update on the meeting. And
Yes.
Yeah, that square box in the middle, there's usually at least 30 or 40 feet to the water when it's at low tide.
Amazing.
Any other questions? Thanks.
Thank you.
That's, man,
Oops.
that's frustrating.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Liz, Parks Foundation update?
Evening, everyone. So last Tuesday, the Parks Foundation held its regular monthly meeting, and Mitch Carr was in attendance to help the foundation board members work out some preliminary details for a proposed program that would allow the foundation to provide scholarships to qualifying Highwood residents for swimming lessons at the Recreation Center. The program would be administered in a partnership with the New Aistro Center, and the foundation has earmarked dollars through a grant they received earlier this year from Highland Park. So those details are being worked out now, and the hope is that they'll be able to begin the program for fall registration. In addition to that, the foundation is participating in a number of events this summer as part of their community outreach. They will have a table and be part of the Firecracker 5K. They'll also be manning the beverage booth at Fourth Fest again this year. And they also have been hosting a couple of events at Ravinia. They are yoga events. And they also are working with the Park District on a capital campaign for the new Youth Golf Development and Short Game Center. And in July, they will be hosting a Give Back Day at Sunset Valley, and it will be an event where people can come and play golf, come for dinner, there'll be entertainment, and will be more details to follow about that event. But a portion of the proceeds from dinner and beverage sales that day, 15% of that will be given to the capital fundraising campaign. Also, the foundation is continuing to focus on recruitment efforts. So I'm going to give a little plug for them right now. The Parks Foundation Board supports the mission and work of the foundation and provides mission-based leadership and strategic government for the foundation. Serving as a foundation board member is an extraordinary opportunity for residents who have a passion for the Park District and the services it provides. If you know of anyone who might be interested in learning more about becoming a board member, please let me know or please contact our Parks Foundation President, Bob Bernstein.
Can I add on to that?
Yes.
We've had a lot of members, important members, who do a lot of hard work. But as it is with beginning organizations, people get busy, people rotate, people whatever. We are facing, honestly, an existential threat to the foundation if we don't get some new blood in there soon. If you value the work that the foundation does, we've got to come up with 5 to 10 new people, honestly, because that way we can rotate officers and honestly just get more different viewpoints from the community. So it's more than just, hey, we need a few guys. We literally need men and women with all different types of skills and all different types of, everything. So if you like what we're doing, then we really have to make this thing happen. If not, we're going to lose it. That's how precarious it is right now.
Is tonight's the movie? Tonight, the Captain Marvel movie?
Yes.
Is that a foundation? Or is that?
No.
It's free admission. It's a suggested donation of $5 for admission, which goes to the foundation towards our Smile Fund.
And that's at 8:15 tonight?
Correct.
At?
Sunset Woods
Sunset
Park.
Woods Park.
Can I throw on some more stuff on top of that? This isn't guilt stuff. This is actually. So I was at Sunset today. There are 3 beautiful signs up inside where you can see, monitor the progress of the fundraising. You see the future plan for it, the actual chipping and pitching area. And there's one other sign there. I posted about it today, but
The donation levels for people to make
Oh,
donations.
right, for the
Right.
different donation levels. So I was inviting people to come in and to look. I invited, everybody came in because it was raining. So I said, come here, take a look at this. And so hopefully we can get some more people. But the signage looks great.
You know, I just want to say that this is the first time we've always been unable to help the Highwood, our neighbors in Highwood, and I just can't. I'm just so beyond impressed to think of swimming as the first thing that we start to help Highwood with, because while we think of it as recreation, swimming is really about safety, and that's something every child should know. You don't have to be in deep water to struggle or to drown, and I think that's really. You know, we could have done anything. The foundation could have done anything, but I think that kind of it's just very responsible, and I think that's terrific. And yeah, we have to figure out how to get more members. It's a very passionate group. How long has the foundation been going? It's been 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's time to. But they're
Right.
doing really good work. We really have to put our heads together and.
And they're capable of so much more. I mean, the dynamic energy and knowledge base
They've
of these
done
people
so much
are-
even with a small group.
Right.
And I feel like they're just now making headway because they wanted to help the Highland Park and Capitol projects, and now they're trying to touch into the Highwood. Yeah, we'll have to figure out how to be creative about that.
They are very passionate, and
Yeah.
if anyone knows of anyone, please let us know, because we are continually looking for people that have the same kind of passion and energy and commitment.
All right, thank you. You ready?
Are you?
No.
My favorite report of the year.
Hooray, I'm smiling already.
Let's go, let's go.
Not your favorite yet.
Mariana and Kathy, please tell us about 4th of July.
My favorite's the camp report.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The camp report.
that'll be coming
Maybe
up.
it's just your smiley
Camp
face.
stuff.
Camp is coming.
It's
Don't
gonna
worry.
be a good camp report this year, but not yet.
Yeah.
Well, so we're here, and you know, if we're here, it means it's summer, right? So we are here to report.
You guys are
on-
sunshine.
We are. Well, she's more sunshine than I am, but I take a little bit. We are here to report on our week-long 4th of July festivities, but knowing you guys, we're going to give you just a, teaser about camp. As of June 15th, we had 1,137 camp registrations, which is 61 more than we had last year. Last year was a really good year, so we're above that for the same time. These are not our final numbers because we're still taking registrations for second session as well as mini camps, but it's really, really a great summer so far, and we're excited to finish it strong and then come and tell you guys all about it. But in the meantime, we're going to talk about 4th of July, starting with our Firecracker 5K and 2-mile walk for Smile, which will be this Sunday, June 30th at Sunset Woods Park. Check-in begins at 6:30 a.m. and the race starts at 8 a.m. I know I see you guys out there, Moshe, so look out. Our post-race celebrations start at 8:30 and go until 10 a.m. Race packets will be available for pickup starting on Friday at the Recreation Center of Highland Park. And we take registrations online until Thursday, and then in-person registrations all the way to the day of the race. We don't encourage day of registrations, but we do take them at an additional $10 charge. And it's going to be a great race, great weather, and Debbie will be there smiling at everyone. And then, of course, we go right into our baseball tournament, starting on July 4th, going all the way to July 7th. Locations include pretty much everywhere we can get them because we have a lot of new teams this year. But Sunset Woods Park, Westridge Park, Danny Caniff, Fink Park, and both baseball and softball fields at Walters. We have competitive divisions at every age, 9th through 14th. And we have 48 teams this year, which is, believe it or not, 18 more than we had last year, which, again, was a very successful year. And then turning on to 4th of July, the Queen of 4th, Kathy Fiore.
We're really excited about 4th of July this year. Of course, everyone here knows that it's the 150-year anniversary of Highland Park. So it's a big year for us, and we are really excited to collaborate with the city to do some new things this year. Everything sort of kicks off at 9:30 a.m. with the bike and pet parade, and then immediately following that we have the main parade. This year we have 80 participating groups, which is an increase from last year, so we're really excited about that. And this year's entire parade theme is around the 150 year anniversary of Highland Park, and then to kind of
Who's the Grand Marshal?
don't
Mr.
know.
Oh.
It's a historical family sort of thing, isn't it, or something like that? But
You know what?
We're
I
gonna
don't
have to
know.
check on that.
You
That's a
stumped
good
me,
question.
Kat.
Stump the expert. Huh?
That's a great question.
yeah,
My
Sorry.
phone is dead, so I can't even
Liz,
text
do
to
you
find
know
out.
who?
It's descendants of first family.
Oh, yeah,
There it is. See?
that's right.
That's what we
That's
had Karen
right.
Bird was
why
there.
didn't you believe
You're
me when I
absolutely
said
right. Thank you. And one
Get no
thing
respect. I get no respect.
really important for people to know too, we have a longer parade route this year, so when you're staking out kind of your spot for the parade, this year it's going to proceed down St. John's to Elm Place, and then it's going to go west down Elm Place. So it's a little bit of an extended route this year. And then, of course, everyone will feed into Fourth Fest at Sunset Woods Park, which we say starts at 11 a.m., but
I'm
immediately
confused.
following.
Yeah, can you go, what are we
What's the
doing?
rate? Going out St. John's to Elm Place,
Yes.
and then we're crossing the tracks.
So we're not making a left into downtown, we're gonna keep going straight?
Correct. So we're going to still start at the intersection of Laurel and St. John's, proceed down St. John's onto Elm Place, west down Elm, and then an immediate south on First Street,
Oh, yeah.
There you
west
go like
along
this,
Central,
and then-
ending at Sunset Woods
Yeah.
Park.
Oh.
Sorry, I stopped at just the extension piece.
You just end over there.
Just like a hanging, there's
Yeah,
a hang
yeah.
out there.
So,
It's like an Animal House when they walk down the alley and there's nowhere to go.
And how are we going to alert families about this when they stake out their places to sit?
So we always have signage about where the route is, and it has been in the promotions that we have a new extended parade route this year, and we have lots of staff throughout Highland Park kind of directing people where to go. I mean, a lot of people have their traditional spot, but it'll just be kind of nice that we have some extra space this year. And then, of course, everything feeds into Fourth Fest. We're really excited. Liz has been helping me coordinate with the Big Bash Committee. So we're going to have so many extra attractions and activities that we're really excited about. It's going to be special this year because we're going to have the Highland Park Pops play in the pavilion in the park, which if you haven't heard them, they're really talented. They practice here at Westridge, and they're really good. So they're going to be there along with Rod Tough Curls and the bench press are coming back. We've
Those
had
guys
them.
with the high sides?
Yeah, we've had them a few years in a
like those
row,
guys.
which we
They're the
usually like
best.
to switch things up, but we've always gotten good feedback from them. So we're going to have them. We're going to have some new rides this year. Wristbands are currently on sale at Westridge, the Rec Center, and both Highland Park Bank and Trust locations. Highland Park Bank and Trust is our sponsor again this year, so we're grateful for that, of course. You save $5 by getting your wristband now, so $20 now as opposed to $25 the day of the event. And Highland Park Bank and Trust is also helping us again this year by getting us an ATM at the park, which is really nice for our patrons because everything is cash only at the event. We have some new food vendors this year, which we're really excited about. Overall, it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a big one, so we're looking forward to it. And then, of course, into the evening, the city will be hosting the fireworks at Walters Field, 4 o'clock to 9:30, and then Bitter Jester Music Festival will be providing the grand finale music. There's no charge to see the fireworks at Walters Field. Hidden Creek Aqua Park is hosting a viewing from 8:15 to 10:15 p.m., and then that is an admission fee of $5 per person. So that'll kind of wrap up our 4th of July festivities, and then the firecracker will go through, like Mariana said, through the 7th. And then we're halfway through summer.
And the proceeds from the fireworks viewing at the Aqua Park do go to the foundation.
That's great.
Now, are we doing this extended parade route permanently? Are we just trying it out, or is it because we had more participants this year?
Yeah, we expect the parade to be larger this year, is my understanding. And then we're doing a lot of things differently as far as expanding because of the anniversary this year. So it's going to be an opportunity for us to test things out and then get back together with the city and kind of evaluate how did it work, did we like it. It is an opportunity to kind of explore new things, and then we'll see if it worked out and make plans for next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Exciting.
I think it's a good idea. I think it started to really slow down.
Yeah.
Because there was so many.
Yeah.
So everybody's going to be going, marching bands, everything, everybody's going to be going the same
Yes,
route.
everyone will be following the same route, exactly.
And the viewing stand will still be by Walker
Correct.
Brothers. and-
So everything for the parade will be the same, except for meaning the times, the start, the end. There's just going to be kind of that extension piece
Yeah.
on the route. So people shouldn't be confused. It'll just be kind of nice extra space.
So since we're going live on tape, I'm not going to ask what the giveaway is this year.
Yeah.
'Cause I want it to be a surprise.
It's good.
So let's not
good.
do,
Good
we're
one.
not going on the record right now.
Surprise on every-
I don't,
You'll-
Rob,
you'll
is
need
that
it if
proper
it's
for
hot.
closed session to ask him what the giveaway is this year? Or is that
It's
proper
hidden
for
somewhere at
closed session?
Westridge, so maybe you
not-
can
okay.
find it. Not a good idea.
All right, so we'll just surprise us that morning.
Does anyone have any other questions about Fourth?
Be Coleman.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Nope.
Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you, guys.
Thank you.
Do you have anything to add? Okay, now, we'll follow that with our new business. Ordinance 1905, contract consideration and approval of the new executive director, Brian Romes. So, everybody's gotten a copy of Brian's contract in their board packets. It's been worked on, and we all had it, a couple versions beforehand. Does anybody have any more questions or comments?
I just have one. And my comment is that as a board member, this is the most important thing that we do, is hiring the executive director. And I could speak for myself, and I hope to speak for the rest of the board. I'm very excited and happy that we've selected Brian Romes to be the new executive director for the Park District. And I anticipate many great things to happen under his leadership, and I look forward to working with him. So,
Agreed.
Well said.
Thank you.
Are you ready for a motion? Now, can I get a motion to approve ordinance 1905, contract approval of the new executive director, Brian Romes? So moved.
A
it-
second?
Okay. Any additional discussion?
I would like to say that Cal said it best. I think that we're all excited about this opportunity.
Brian, do you mind calling the roll for your?
I'll be
Maybe
very
I should be
pleased to.
doing that.
No, he can
this is
do
your
it.
last chance to back out, by the way.
Commissioner Bernstein.
Aye.
Commissioner Grossberg. Aye. Commissioner Flores Weiskopf.
Aye.
Vice President Ruttenberg.
Aye.
And President Kaplan.
Aye, motion carries.
Yay.
Do we have a nameplate name for you?
We're working on it.
Okay, now, we have resolution 1903, the appointment of Brian Romes as secretary to the Park District of Highland Park.
So moved.
Second,
I'll second.
any discussion? This means that you still have to take notes every meeting. Okay, Brian,
With the
one
call the
last
roll.
time,
With the call the roll.
can you call the roll?
Commissioner Bernstein.
Aye.
Commissioner Grossberg. Aye. Commissioner Flores Weiskopf.
Aye.
Vice President Ruttenberg.
Aye.
President Kaplan.
Aye. All right, you're now secretary and executive director.
Aye.
Sorry, you're executive director and secretary.
Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate your deferring the vote until I could be here. I apologize for the delay. I'm sure you were on pins and needles.
Yes.
Okay, is there anyone from the public who would like to speak?
I have one board comment.
We had a board comment?
That's after 4th of July activity, board comments.
You're right, open the pub.
No, that was in the beginning.
Yeah.
That was in the beginning.
No, there's board comments under new business G.
Right, we meant, yeah.
Okay,
The only comment I have is I want to recognize Kathy Donahue
Yeah.
for stepping up and being the interim director during this gap period between the former executive director and now our new executive director. We appreciate your efforts and willingness to serve.
And to stay on.
And thank you very much. And I'm sorry we're demoting you today, but we're still excited that you're going to still be with the district, so thank you very much.
Thank you for helping me through the 4
I
months.
second that.
Okay.
And I would like to just give Kathy a round of applause.
Yes. It was very seamless after Liza left. We never, as a board, felt anything. I'm sure
who
the
left?
staff was good too. And
Liza, little one.
Liza,
Oh, the
remember her?
little-
And also, I think that you continue to be very valuable to us as you're going to be training and helping Brian along and teaching him the ins and outs of what you have been doing the last few months, as well as just supporting behind the scenes. So it doesn't go unnoticed that our park district has run smoothly because you've been in charge.
Thank you. We have a great staff.
Yep,
Everybody
we do.
did a great job in the transition.
So another board comment. I just wanted to mention the 9 and Dine. You guys, I'm hooked. I played on Saturday. I love it. Sunset Valley had its first 9 and Dine, where you play 9 holes and then you have a fun dinner. It's kind of a couples night, and it was a blast. And I'm not a golfer. Well, I'll use the term loosely, but I did play golf. I just enjoyed it so much, and I have to tell you, I've seen it from the perspective of looking out, but as looking in, I couldn't get over how gorgeous it is. It's just absolutely beautiful, and to experience, all the holes and just thinking of how much work went into it. And unfortunately, I wasn't knowledgeable enough to appreciate it until now. I wish I could go back and look at it and see what it used to look like, because this is the only golf course I know, and I'm just spoiled beyond spoiled. So I'll be attending on Friday. I believe it was sold out. The event was sold out last time. And any what numbers for this Friday?
I don't think we're sold out yet, but
Okay.
we're probably at about 30. I'm not sure, yeah.
And we're going to be doing this the last Friday of every month this summer. Is that how?
Yep, June and July.
Yeah. And if you don't golf, come out and just eat. It's such a wonderful view for to have a drink or just eat
What time
lunch,
does that
dinner.
start?
4:30. 4:30 this year.
4:30 check-in, yeah. And
Yeah.
I think tee-off is at 5.
Nice.
Yep.
Excellent.
That's great.
Now, Lori, the real test is if you'll sit down on a Sunday and watch golf on TV. That'll be testing
No.
I
your.
don't know if I'm ready for that.
If you want a good nap, it's a great napping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and the person I was with, one last thing, was fidgeting around with the screens, and he's like, "Oh, nav," and I said, "Oh yeah, we put that in real last minute. We know we can afford it, but we swung it. It does make a difference for golfers. Just little touches. Again, as a board member, I didn't understand or appreciate it until I'm with golfers and I see how these new people are really taking to our course. We really did do a good job. I now appreciate it, and like I said, being with golfers and seeing their reaction, I'm very very proud of the facility.
And the numbers have been great there. Considering the weather, it's been outstanding.
Yep.
We
Well
hit
received.
5,000 rounds last month.
Well received.
Just need the weather to cooperate.
Okay. Any more?
If I may.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
You're not running the show. It's your. You didn't even ask.
I'm
You don't have
asking
to ask now. It's like,
Your
Well, not yet, but I just want to say thank you to the park board for their confidence in me to serve as the executive director. I'm very grateful. I'm grateful to the board and for working with an amazing staff. I really feel that we have the best staff of any park district. So I'm very excited to continue working with staff, continue to work with our very dedicated board, and of course the wonderful community that we have, and the many things that I hope and I know we will accomplish in the future. So I want to say thank you, and then I'm very excited.
Okay. July 1st, we'll have you a plaque. Okay, does someone from the public wish to address the board? Yes, sir.
Very quickly, we saw the beach again this morning. It hasn't shifted in any meaningful way beyond what we've seen prior to this. And I don't know how that drop is changing at all. And I don't know if that's something that's just a safety issue, or whether it's gonna be sturdy enough to continue.
Which beach?
Rosewood? Mr. Smith?
So we have been in touch with the engineering firm that designed and installed the revetment around this summer. And we will be meeting with them on site to talk about potential revetment, additional revetment, whether there's a need, if so, I'll work with them. And I'll be coming back to the later date to report on that.
Thank you. Well, can I add, I think it's fair to say that absent horrible, it's stable for now.
Absolutely. At this point it is. We've looked into that and we're confident that it's stable this time. We're only looking into future options with the assumption that maybe they'll go in the direction.
Are we going to have a little discussion about Rosewood right now at all? I mean, can we talk about that on top of this? I just want to know what attendance was like, what's reactions been like. Are people
Well,
enjoying?
attendance is poor because of the weather.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
especially down there. So, I don't know. Mitch, do you know?
We haven't really received a whole lot of feedback or comments. We have some signage. Obviously, it's cordoned off. I mean, people are still using the area. They're using it as more like an outlook area. But as far as comments
Heard
on the
any
beach, I think
feedback.
people understand because it's very prevalent in the news about the lake levels, and there are many beaches that are dealing with erosion of sand. So I think it's
Girlfriend drove them down.
just more or less
So
kind of
expensive it
common
was.
knowledge. But we haven't gotten a lot of
So they
negative
left.
feedback.
You know, Kathy did send around that from Wilmette, that
Wilmette.
one of these
Yeah.
swing beaches
Langdon
closed.
Beach.
So
Mhm.
because of the issue, so it's not something that's just solely strike hitting
Oh,
Highland
right.
Park. It's hitting
It's
the
all
entire lake,
along. Mhm.
Lake Michigan.
Okay. Anything else, sir? Ma'am?
As far as we're concerned, everything is fine. Now, if it changes with these engineers, that's obviously a good thing too. I just wanted to point out, we've been there several times. We prefer to go down early in the morning, and it is always kept in a way that lets us enjoy without any concern of tumbling off and going down into the it's much sturdier than you would think. And if you haven't visited, you might want to just take a drive out and see what's going on. It's a good sign.
Okay. Can I get a motion to go into closed session pursuant to the following sections of the Open Meeting Act? Section 2C5, the purchase or lease of real estate, including discussion on whether a certain parcel of property should be acquired. And that's it?
So move.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, thank you, everybody.
Thanks
We're-
for
we're
coming out,
closed.
everyone. And we're not talking about the giveaway. Okay. Bye. See you later. All right, thank you, everyone. Good night. If I don't see you before, see you 4th of July.
So,
You have a wedding 4th of July?
Someone decided to get married.
You're right.
What?
You know, it's
That was
funny.
Steve.
So,
Hopefully we're not going to be long.
Jay came
Take
in
off.
from New York to spend a couple days with Marcia, to help her. and-
Congratulations.